each other. And then we were both out drinking one night, and he sent us a text with that, and I was like, perfect. It was like, and he's like, oh, it might not be able to be used on certain box covers, and I was like, who cares, dude? We'll just go with it. Yeah, we'll just put asterisks in it. Yeah.
He is actually a lot nicer than that. I think he wants that on there because I think he's probably a lot nicer than he wants people to know that he is. You know, so that's kind of like the I'm a motherfucker and a son of a bitch, but you know what? Too bad. Everyone knows he's nice now.
And one thing I think I'm sure we'll have questions about. I hope we do. And one thing you don't shy away from, sort of like the way you reveal his Nazi memorabilia collection is very gradual.
Going right to it, man.
Yeah. No, well, yeah.
Sticking us right to it.
Well, that's and you do that very gradually, and I presume that was a deliberate decision on your part to do it very gradually. But you know, you do also question him about that. How do you think? Yeah.
Well, I think originally we actually saved that scene for later because we wanted you to fall in love with Lemmy and then sort of see some weird sides of him, and then it felt a little bit too heavy-handed, like we're saving it for the end, like, haha, he also loves Nazis crap. But that wasn't what, we just wanted to show it how it was, and I think what we tried to do was show it the way we experienced it, which is being in his apartment and hanging out with this guy that you really love, and he's a really fun guy, and awesome rock and roll, and a great sense of humor, and then you walk into his house and you're like, whoa, this is heavy. And so we just tried to reveal it to the audience in the same way that we experienced it. Hopefully it came across that way. And then, you know, we didn't try to take any angle or try to force the issue or try to play it lightly. We just showed it and then asked him about it, and that's what came across. You know, that was his reasoning for it, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't ignore it though. I mean, it's. I think there was a photo spread in a rock magazine a couple years ago. He even mentioned that. You know, it's funny when we showed the rough cut to Lem at his house. You know, I was super anxious, super nervous about what he was going to make us cut out, because I was thinking, you know, he's going to make us cut out at least like 8 or 9 things, right? And when we got to that, man, I'm like holding my breath. I'm like, oh no. And he's like, I don't know about that, boys. And I was, and 2 seconds later, he's like, well, I guess it's already out there, you know. And that's how easy it was, man. I mean, can you imagine working with like someone like Bon Jovi? How hard that would be, you know? And like, you know, it would be like a team of lawyers that would have to sit down with us.
Yeah, tell us how to make Bon Jovi's hair look better.
Exactly.
Lemmy's like, let the Nazi flags fly, man.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi's what he wants to do.
It's okay. We'll take your questions now. We don't have roaming mics this evening, so you have to raise your hands and you have to raise your voices. I don't want to repeat the questions. So straight away we have hands here and here. I'll go here first and to you next.
This is our good friend right here.
That's some Motorhead super fans.
We got
right
some
here.
of Motorhead's biggest fans right here. Yeah. We also have some special guests in the house tonight. Some members of Girl School who are here. I don't know where they are. And there they are, right over here. Harry Feeney is right over here, the lead singer of the Rocky Vickers. Scott Gorham from Thin Lizzy is in the house. And Eddie, I don't know if you're going to be mad at me if you're still here. Fast Eddie Clark's in the house too. And he's probably going to leave right now because I just said that. Where are you, Eddie? Maybe he's not here. Maybe he was alive. Next question.
I just really want to know how much fun did you have making?
Yeah, quite a bit, you know. I mean, we got addicted to Strongbow thanks to the road crew and Phil Campbell. Very hard to get in the United States, which makes it very frustrating. Incredible, you know, some of the best experiences of our lives, for sure. And that'll only be drilled home over the next few years, I'm sure. Yeah.
Guys, over the last few years, there's been quite a few films looking at rock bands and rock stars and documentaries and so on. And they've generally tended to poke fun either inadvertently or specifically at the people they've been portraying. Did you guys approach this in any particular way? Did you ever think that it would be a kind of more of like a comic expose, or did you just let it go?
No, man, we actually, you know, the first thing we told Lemmy to basically get the job was like, we just want to follow you around and do an honest portrayal of you. Because I wasn't a huge Motorhead fan. I didn't really know much about them or Lemmy. And so I wanted to learn as we, you know, hung out with him. And that's what we did. We didn't really have an agenda or an angle. as a lot of filmmakers do. We just wanted to go in and see what would happen. It actually made it harder to make the film, not knowing where you're going with it, and that's why it took 3.5 years to make. So no, we didn't have an angle. But luckily Lemmy's a funny dude and entertaining guy, and in the end, we just wanted to make. I wanted to make a portrait of a compelling human being, regardless of what they did for a living, and hopefully that came across. He just happens to be the lead singer of Motorhead.
Well, that's the funny thing about Greg and I. I mean, like, I'm a super music nerd, and I wanted a lot of the minutia stuff, and there was a healthy push and pull between us that created this. I think I think that made it better than some films. I'm not trying to say we made a great rock and roll movie of all time. But the funny thing, you talked about humor. Greg and I had no idea. I mean, obviously the thing with the shorts, Scotty and story about the shorts. I mean, we'd crack up when we were finishing them. When Greg first cut it, we were laughing our asses off. But we had no idea what the reaction would be. I mean, it was one of the most amazing things. We world premiered in Austin, Texas in March, and we're sitting there, and man, people started laughing the second they saw him playing video games. And that continued throughout the film. And then it was weird. Where were we recently? The film festival, Milwaukee. Yeah, people were laughing at things that they never laughed at before. It's weird. We never know what they're going to laugh at. But we didn't think we were making a comedy. And when people laughed, I'm such an anxious person. It stressed me out because oh fuck, Lemmy's going to be pissed about that. And he did say that he nearly died of embarrassment like 4 or 5 times. Which to his credit, he still let that stuff go in.
Because I think you got a brilliant sense of him. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks for that.
He likes it, yeah. When we screened it at his apartment, he's not a man of many words. He's not going to throw his arms around you and say, "Look at me." And he when the film was over, he just extended his hand to Greg and I, and that spoke volumes. These guys can attest. A lot of people in the room can attest to that, In the UK, January 24th.
Did you ever find out why he's called Lemmy?
We asked him about that.
Do you know why?
He got pissed when I brought that up. He's like, I made that up.
Hold on, say it again.
He used to say Lemmy a pound.
Yeah, I know what's funny about that. Like that seems like a myth, right? And we actually never asked him.
No,
A lot of the.
fucking know, because you used to ask me.
Well, I know. Just so you know, dude, it doesn't stop because even though Lemmy is who he is now, we were at the Rainbow one day and we're walking to the Rainbow and he stops and turns to me and he's like, "Hey man, I don't have any money on you. Do you mind getting out like $500 for me?" I'm like, $500? Like, what do you need that for at the Rainbow, dude? You're a god.
That's
No,
a month of filming
he
for
still
us.
does it. He still is Lemmy.
Hey, dude.
Did you sort the sound out yourself? And because I noticed a lack of pretty much sound credits, and also if you did, can you still hear?
Yeah, if you got something bad to say about the sound, then no, we didn't do it. If it was okay, if you guys could hear it, then yes. Wes and I pretty much made the entire film. We had some additional cameramen here and there, but it was just due to the way, things, it took 4 years to make, or 3.5 years, and never had as much money as we wanted, but Wes and I did everything ourselves. So we did the sound, we did the shooting, did the editing, everything. And on the Did We Lose Hearing, I actually have a ringing in my ears. I went to see a doctor about 6 months ago, and they said, you've lost your mid-range. Do you listen to loud music? I'm like, not only do I listen to it, but I stand on stage during and I tried to explain to them who Motorhead was, and so yes, I've lost hearing because of this film. But it was worth it.
The funny thing was, one of the great honors of doing the film was interviewing Fast Eddie Clarke, and Greg never got to go because we ended like a 10 or 15 day Scandinavian tour, and we left Finland and came straight here to interview Eddie, and Greg's ears were hurting so bad that he went to the doctor.
I went to the hospital because my,
So he never got to-
eardrum was bursting. Like, so I went. So
Yeah.
it was no joke, man.
So he wasn't even at the interview. Yeah, it was kind of funny.
That's the downside of hanging out with Lemmy on stage. You're gonna lose something.
Yeah, he was terrified.
Few more hands. Any more questions?
I've got a question.
Go ahead.
When's it okay for me to leave?
when we tell you.
What a dick.
You getting a bit bored, dude? What the fuck were you doing here in the first place if you're bored, man? Don't hit your head on the way out, pal. Fuck off.
Hey!
We'll see you outside, buddy. Just wait for us. Who let that guy in? Jesus.
He's in the wrong theater.
Go ahead.
How did you go about choosing and finding the people you interviewed?
Well, one thing that was kind of, we didn't want to make a movie that was exclusive to metal fans. I mean, I grew up loving metal, you know, but Lemmy transcends that genre, you know, and a lot of people, like, it's funny, a couple years ago, Greg wasn't on this trip, I went with my wife, we went to shoot, I went out to Las Vegas to shoot Lemmy with Headcat, and I ran into this guy I know from New York, we both were from New York, and he's like, dude, you're never gonna guess who's in the bar. And I can guarantee you, this guy doesn't even know Ace of Spades, you know. But he knows Lemmy, you know. It says that speaks volumes. Somehow Lemmy, the persona of Lemmy, is bigger than Motorhead, you know, to a lot of people. So we wanted to kind of reflect that, you know. It's not just people in the metal community who love him, you know. It's also people like Peter Hook and Jarvis Cocker and Mick Jones, you know. It goes all across the musical spectrum. Joan Jett, you know.
We'll take a final question if there is one.
Good.
I think your movie redefined the rock icon because usually my notion of a rock icon is the one that died young, but here you portrayed one that's in his old age and still rocking it. And I think it's really changed the way we look at this music, really.
Oh, well, I mean, dude, I think, sorry, man, I don't mean to hog him, but like, you know, dude, look at Bob Dylan. I mean, he's still, to me, he's making some of the best music of his life in his 60s, you know, and I don't necessarily think that a rock icon has to die at 27 or something, you know, in a mountain of cocaine or something. You know, rock is aging, right? This is the first time rock has ever gotten to this age, so you're going to see that happen. All these older rockers, you know, Keith Richards, Rolling Stones, Bruce Springsteen, you know, these guys are still making valid music at that age, you know. Lemmy is one of the oldest people in metal, you know, and so he stands out in that field, you know. But thank you for saying that, man.
Yeah, but the good thing is you can go see him in a couple of weeks when they start their tour again. So, you know, they start playing again. He never stops touring, which is why we love him so much. The dude just loves the music so much, he just never stops. So, enjoy him while he lasts, man.
Yeah, there's a new Motorhead record and a new Headcat record coming out soon too. So, anybody? Oh yeah. Sorry. That was one of the big thrills of the movie, was that Lemmy actually let us use that song, which I said to him, I thought it was one of the best things he's ever done, and he agreed, you know. And I don't know when it's coming out. You know, he's done a solo album, tracks with Dave Grohl, Joan Jett, Reverend Horton Heat. That song that you heard in the movie is with Stu Siskin, backing him up, the German band. And who else, guys? Who else is on that? You would know better than I. Yeah.
We will, Jack Clancy. Many apologies for our rude interruption. You weren't in the least bit boring at all. In fact, you brought so much to the festival beyond this terrific film. So thank you so much for coming and presenting.